Hey folks, and welcome back to the Truck King YouTube channel. I am cameraman Liam, and today I'm going to be off-roading the 2024 F-150 Tremor, and later on I'll be driving the F-150 Raptor. Make sure you stay tuned. Hey folks, here we are in the 2024 F-150 Tremor. We are on the way to Johnson Valley, and it's going to be a long, slow, technical climb from what I understand. We're going to be able to test out all the off-road features, including trail turn assist, one pedal drive, and more. So make sure you stay tuned. We'll be on the trail soon. Okay guys, we have hit the dirt now. Now I want to tell you that we are in the EcoBoost variant of the Tremor. So that's the 3.5 liter V6. It offers 400 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque. And I am in off-road mode already, so that's going to lock up that rear diff. And it's also going to put me into 4 high. Now, right now the trail is not too bad. It's some undulating up and down, some big rocks, but nothing too crazy yet. But we're going to see what's in store ahead on the trail. Now, an interesting note about the powertrain in the Tremor, in the United States, the 5 liter V8 comes standard. Now, in Canada, we actually get the 3.5 liter EcoBoost as standard. So that's an interesting difference. And I actually overheard a conversation at breakfast this morning, and one of the journalists was asking about, why do they still offer the 5 liter V8 as standard in America? And Ford's answer was, Americans want their V8s. And you know what? Fair play. It's good to give consumers a choice. It's just interesting to note the difference that they're offering the EcoBoost as standard in Canada. Now, if you do want the 5 liter V8 in Canada, you can still get it. It's just going to be a $600 increase option. Now, I also want to touch on some of the new standard features on the F-150 for 2024. One of the big new additions is this 12-inch infotainment screen, standard across the entire lineup, including that base model XL. Another new standard feature is the Class 4 trailer hitch. And finally, I just want to mention the new 36-gallon fuel tank, which is standard, and Ford was saying a lot of customers opt for this. Obviously, it gives you much better range. You don't have to fill up quite as often, and a lot of people love that. And with all these new features becoming standard, a big theme for Ford this year is the order simplification process. So they said that overall, order complexity has reduced by 90%. That's a really big number, and it's just going to make your ordering process that much easier. And that order simplification also extends to the Raptor. Before, in 2023, you had 40 different options, 40 different kinds of Raptor. But now, you can only get 6. So hopefully you guys watched my walk around yesterday of the Tremor. We got to see some of the new styling features, including that new coast-to-coast grille. Gives the truck a little bit of a meaner and wider stance. And obviously they still have that dark gold or dark orange accent color on the front grille. And you also have access to that new optional front bumper that's also available on the Ford Raptor. And that's going to give you some better approach angles. And it's also going to give you the ability to install a dealer-installed Warn winch as well. And that's pretty neat because it's going to maintain all of your camera features and functionalities. The camera is actually built into the structure of the winch itself. And then you'll also get to keep all of your parking sensors as well, which is a pretty neat little feature. And now the trail is getting a little bit more gnarly. We're getting some more rocks to crawl over, and we're surrounded by these big, beautiful Joshua trees as well. This is a really nice drive so far. Okay, and just to give you some background on myself, I am the cameraman for Truck King. I usually don't get to drive off-road. I'm usually in the back shooting Steve or Howard driving. So I'm really relying on the capabilities of the Tremor today to kind of get me through this safely. But obviously I'm trying to have as much fun as possible. So I am going to try to push the truck a little bit. Let's see how it goes. So one of the new features for the F-150 this year is a head-up display. So this has not been available on F-150 up until this point. Now, one interesting part of that is that it's actually going to change depending on which mode you're in. So right now, I'm obviously in off-road mode, and I get some additional details in my HUD, including my steering angle, my pitch, my roll, as well as which gear I'm in. Now, when talking about off-road information, I must also mention that when you're in off-road mode, this front-facing camera on the screen here will stay on for you, and it actually has some guidelines that show you where your tires are going to go. And that's just going to make it easier to avoid some big obstacles, some boulders, or downed logs or anything like that. I think more information is always a good thing when you're in extreme conditions. Now we're picking our way up a rock-strewn hill. It's fairly steep, and I got tons of traction from those grabber tires. Yeah, they're just pulling me right up this little rock face here. They're doing a great job with traction. Honestly, we're in the desert right now, so traction, it can be a difficult thing with all this sand and all these smooth rocks. Okay, folks, so we're hitting more of an uphill section now with lots of big boulders, and I'm starting to feel some of the power here, crawling up some of these big rocks, and it feels really good. This EcoBoost engine just has so much torque, especially down low. It's crawling over some of these rocks just with no problem. Here's a big one. Yep, up and over. And you can feel some of the clearance there too. Some of those rocks on the ground were pretty big. And you know what? If you option for the 5-liter V8 engine, that is something you're going to be giving up, is a little bit of that torque. That engine only produces 410 pound-feet of torque. And I just got word from the Ford guy over the radio. I'm driving a little bit too slow, so let's give it some more power, see how it feels. Oh yeah, it feels so good. Obviously, this is not the high-flying desert machine like the Raptor is. This is definitely more suited to more woodland trails that you might find in the Northeast. But, it feels so good when you put your foot into it, all that available power. And we're hitting some more undulations here. So I'm going to use my cameras. I cannot see over the hood. This is where these cameras really come into play. And I can straddle these ruts with no problem, with great visibility. So our environment is changing again here. The ground has taken on a decidedly red color, and that's because of all the iron oxide in the sand here. And we just passed a mine shaft, which is pretty cool. And these are the kinds of things that you can expect to find in an off-road adventure, right? This is why we come out to these places far-flung away from civilization, is to find something unique and interesting. Okay, now we're going to try the trail turn assist feature, and right here, the brake is actually going to lock up one of the wheels, and it's going to allow me to take a tighter turn. So here we go, we're going to give it a shot, and you should be able to hear the brakes applying pressure. Yeah, right there. I'm going to try to give it some more gas and see just how far we can get it to lock up. Yep, there we go. That's pretty cool. Wow, you can really feel it lock up there. That's really, really neat. Okay, and now we're going to try this one pedal drive going downhill. So we're set to 1 mile per hour. We have a Ford guy who's going to help me with steering down this very tight hill. And yeah, we're moving very slowly. The truck feels like it's in complete control. It really does a really good job of modulating the speed. Like, there's no jerkiness to the system whatsoever. But here we go, downhill. That's
straight. Straight.
And this is very steep down here. There's a lot of loose rocks. Yeah, and you can really feel it lock up those brakes to keep you going at a steady pace. This is some pretty impressive off-road technology here. A little bit of a jerk there. Could be some of those loose rocks. But you know what? The system does a fantastic job. I'm really impressed by this. And I got, no feet on the pedals whatsoever. The truck is basically driving itself. It just allows me to really focus on the steering, especially in a really tight, rocky section like that. And Ford has released pricing for the Tremor. In the United States, it's going to start at around $66,000, and in Canada, it's going to cost you about 78,000 Canadian dollars. So as you can see, we just finished up our Tremor trail ride. Now we're airing up to get back on road. We're going to head over to drive the Raptor. Okay folks, so you saw what we did in the Tremor, but now we're in the big boy. This is the Raptor R. But we also put up another video of us up in Mattawa, Ontario. And in that video, Steve and Howard really put the Raptor R through its paces. in a different kind of environment. Obviously, right here, we're in the Raptor's natural habitat, out in the desert, high speed, hitting whoops. But in that video, we did more of the woodland, tighter trails, some mud. So you definitely want to check that video out as well. Now, like I said, this is the Raptor R. So this is the most powerful production truck on the market. It's a 5.2 liter supercharged V8 engine, and that produces 720 horsepower. Now with the Raptor R, you do get some extra goodies. You get those massive 37-inch tires. And in addition to that, you also get that modular front bumper, and you get these beautiful Recaro seats, and these things are so comfortable. We're going through the desert right now at about 45 miles per hour on this whooped out, nasty road, and man, I feel like I'm living in luxury. It's just so comfortable. Another feature you're getting on the Raptor are these paddle shifters behind the wheel. Now, you didn't get that on the Tremor, so if you want these, you're gonna have to step up to the Raptor. And you know what? These shifts are lightning quick. Let me just show you right now. Bam, bam. Oh, you can hear that exhaust. Oh, it's so good. And then the other obvious difference when you step up to the Raptor from the Tremor is the shocks. Oh, they're so good. It just eats up absolutely everything. I'm sliding around a little bit. We're flying across this dried up lake bed. There's not much traction. I can very easily kick the back end out if I want to. But yeah, these shocks are just eating every little whoop on the road. And not that the Tremor was a super stiff ride, but you can definitely tell the difference. There's just so much more going on. One of the engineers was telling us that the computer that controls the shocks can make calculations 200 times a second to adjust it for you. And then the computer in the car will also know whether you're hitting moguls, you're hitting whoops, even if you take flight and you hit air. And you know what? I think at some point along this track there is a jump, so hopefully we'll get to test that out soon. Okay, now we're in a long, sandy uphill section, so this is where the torque is gonna come into play. And they want me to keep a lot of speed going up this hill. There's not much traction. I can feel the tires slipping a little bit. And you might hear on the radio they're gonna give me some instruction, but...
Yeah, a little bit more speed coming out.
Oh, they want more speed?
More momentum. Keep going.
Yeah, more momentum. There's a ton of sand. You can just see how deep the ruts are.
Keep going. Build your speed. Keep your momentum faster. Keep going. Keep going. Quicker. Keep going.
There we go. Nice. Yeah, the power feels really good. Now we're going to transition into a slower section here.
Yeah, you're going to be into the rock crawling here. Good job.
And this is where these cameras come into play.
Vehicle. Come on up.
Oh, and these shocks are just amazing. Okay guys, now we're coming up to a massive sand dune. I'm going to try and ride up it. I just watched two people fail in front of me, so I'm going to go in with more power. Saying I can go as kind of as fast as I want, but it gets really tricky up here to maintain that momentum. Here we go. Yeah, no, it feels good. Feels good. Oh yeah, this is no problem. This is some deep sand, but I'm still gaining traction. I'm gonna try and go up the second one here. Let's see if I can make this one. Come on, power, power, power. Oh, I'm sliding around. I'm sliding around. Yeah, keep going. Keep going. There we go. Nice. Oh, they're saying throttle, throttle.
Turn downhill, throttle.
Oh, that was a lot of fun. Okay, folks, now it's jump time. Let's go. He wants me doing 60 miles per hour by the time I get to the jump. I'm gonna accelerate until I'm in the air. Here we go. Whoa! Oh, that was awesome. Nice. Yeah, definitely got a little bit of air. Okay, here we go. Attempt number 2 at the jump. Let's go. Now, I think the last one I was a little slow. I think I hit the jump at about 50 miles per hour. So for this one, I'm aiming for 65. Here we go. 40. And it's deep sand, so it's kind of sketchy. 50. Whoa! Woo! That was close. I almost clipped the bush. But this next section should be okay for me. This is just a full-on acceleration as fast as you can. So let's see how it feels. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Foot to the floor. Oh my God, wow. 40, 50, 60, 70. Hard brake. Oh yeah, that felt so good. It's just unreal how much traction these tires can get out of sand. Like, I've never experienced that kind of feeling before. Okay folks, so we just wrapped up our high-speed Baja course, and it looks like my off-road adventure is coming to an end. I am back on road. Now, of course, I want to hear from you, so make sure you leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the new Raptor, and let me know how I did in the video. I would love to hear. And of course, while you're down there, hit like, hit subscribe, join, become a member of our channel, and come back soon, see what we're testing next. See ya.